Cutiecalities, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to crochet this very pretty round 3D flower pattern that you can use for your next project, and I really hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, make sure you give a massive thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe so you can join the Cutiecality family and watch more of my videos. So let's begin with the project. So for today's tutorial I'm going to be using 3 different yarns. As you can see right here, they are all 100% acrylic, and the yarn weights for these ones are worsted and 4 ply for these two right here. I'm also going to be using a 3mm hook and also a small pair of scissors. I am going to be showing you guys only one granny square, so I'm going to be using very little yarn. So I'm going to be starting with the mustard color for the middle of my flower. So starting with a slip knot, and then I'm going to be chaining 6. You can also start with a magic loop if you want. Going back to the very first stitch and creating a slip stitch. We are going to be chaining 3, so we can start with the double crochets, and then we are going to be starting with the double crochets, and we are going to be creating 23 double crochets all the way around this little circle. So we are going to go inside of the circle and creating the double crochets. So in total we are going to be having 23 double crochets and 24 including the chain. So when you have 24 double crochets including the chain, we are going to be connecting to the other side with a slip stitch. So you're going to be counting 1, 2, 3. On the third stitch here from the chain, we are going to be creating a slip stitch. So now we are going to be working with double crochets, but not on the next stitch. We are going to be skipping 2 stitches and then creating the double crochets on the third stitch. So create the double crochet, skip 2 on the third one. You're going to be creating the double crochets because we are going to be working here into this stitch right here after. And then right here you're going to be chaining 3, so 1, 2, 3, and then going to that same stitch right here where the double crochet is and creating a slip stitch. So after, when we create the petals, the chain is going to be at the back and the double crochet is going to be where we are going to be creating the petal. So prepare for the double crochet, skip 2 on the third one, double crochet, chain 3, and then into the same stitch where the double crochet is, you're going to be creating a slip stitch. Prepare for the double crochet, skip 2 on the third one, double crochet, chain 3, and into that same stitch you're going to be creating a slip stitch. So now you can just repeat this all the way around, and then I'll meet you guys at the end. So I'm here into my last one, so skipping 2 in the third one, a double crochet, chaining 3, and then into that same stitch a slip stitch. And in total you should have 8 double crochets in the chain on the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So right here I'm going to be chaining 1, and you can fasten off. So I'm just going to be cutting my yarn right here. And if you wanted to weave in this one and already cut, that's really good, so you don't have to do afterwards. So now I'm going to be changing to my yarn in the color copper, and what I'm going to be doing is working in the double crochets. So we have the double crochets right here in the previous row, and then we have the chain here on the top, and then we are going to be working in the double crochet. So we are going to be attaching our yarn into this stitch right here, which is the double crochet. So to attach my yarn, I like to create a slip knot. So now you're going to be folding the chain backwards, so you're going to be left with the double crochet, and then you're going to go through the double crochet here on the bottom, and then grabbing the yarn and creating a slip stitch. And then you can just move this yarn here to the back, and then from here we are going to be starting the petals. So first you're going to be chaining 3, and then working on the double crochet, as you can see, we are going to be creating 2 double crochets. You just want to make sure that the chain is at the back and you're not getting the chain, just a double crochet. And then we are going to be chaining 4. And then go back to the double crochet again and create 3 more double crochets. So now we are going to be repeating the same. So we are going to be moving the chain backwards. So we are going to be having the double crochet sticking out a little bit right here. And then in the double crochet, we are going to be creating 3 double crochets, chaining 4, and 3 more double crochets. So now we are going to be repeating this all the way around. So move the chain backwards, working on the double crochet, creating 3 double crochets, chaining 4, and then 3 more double crochets into that same double crochet stitch. So now you can just repeat this all the way around, and then I'll meet you guys at the end. So I'm here into my last one, so I'm going to be creating the same as I created for all of the others. So 3 double crochets, chaining 4, and 3 double crochets. So now you're just going to be counting 1, 2, 3. On the 3rd stitch from this side, we are going to be connecting with a slip stitch. So now we are going to be working with double crochets again, and we are going to be working on top of the chain, so around the chain right here. So we are going to be starting with the double crochets, and we are going to be creating 10 double crochets inside of the chain. So when you have your double crochets, you're going to be connecting with a slip stitch on your 3rd double crochet. So 1, 2, on the 3rd one right here into this stitch, you're going to be creating a slip stitch. And then you're going to be repeating exactly the same into the next chain available, so right here. And then we are going to be creating 10 double crochets inside of the chain and into this space available. So 1, 2 on the 3rd one, a slip stitch. So this is how it looks like. And then now we are just going to be continuing creating the same all the way around. So 10 double crochets inside of these little spaces here on the chain. And then I'll meet you guys here at the end. So now I'm here into my last one, so I can just show you guys a different petal that you can do. So you're going to be creating 5 double crochets. And then you can chain 3, so we are going to be creating a picot right at the top. And then at the back on the very first chain, you're going to be creating a slip stitch. And then you can just continue with the other 5 double crochets that you have to do. And then you can just slip stitch into the 3rd double crochet on the side. So this is how it looks like with the picot right here on the top of the petal. I decided to do round, but you can definitely do with the picot on the top. So I'm just gonna go back and create my other 5 double crochets without the picot. So now we are just going to be slip stitching very close to the other petal. There we go. You can chain 1 and fasten off. So now I'm just going to be weaving in my yarn and cutting the remaining so my project is nice and clean. So this is how the flower looks like, and it looks very pretty, very hippie, so I really like that. And with the chains at the back, we are going to be creating a round shaped base, and I'll show you guys how to do that as well. So you want to turn the flower on the back, just like this, and then you're going to be attaching your yarn into any of the chains at the back. And I'm going to be attaching the same way that I showed you guys how to attach the copper yarn. So now we are going to be working with double crochets. So you're going to be chaining 3, and in the same chain you're going to be creating a double crochet, so 1 double crochet, and then you're going to be chaining 2 and then 2 more double crochets into that same chain. And we are going to be working into every chain into the back of the flower. So you're going to be chaining 1, and then into the next chain you're going to be creating 2 double crochets, chaining 2 and 2 more double crochets into the same space available. So chain 1, and then into the next chain available you're going to be creating 2 double crochets, chaining 2 and 2 more double crochets, and then you're just going to be repeating all the way around, and then I'll meet you guys at the end. So I'm here in my last one, so chain 1 and create the same pattern on the next chain available, so 2 double crochets, chaining 2 and 2 double crochets. So now you're going to be chaining 1, counting here on the chain, so 1 2 3. On the third chain you're going to be slip stitching on the other side to connect the row together. So now you're going to be slip stitching until you get to this corner right here, which is basically the chain in between the double crochets, and then right here we are going to be chaining 3, and then inside of this space we are going to be creating 1 double crochet, chaining 2 and then 2 more double crochets, and then we are going to be chaining 1, and then in between here the shell stitches, you can see this space right here, we are going to be creating 1 double crochet. So now you're going to be chaining 1 and creating into the next space available, so in between the double crochets right here you're going to be creating 2 double crochets, chaining 2 and 2 double crochets, so basically the shell stitch. And then you can chain 1 and then into the next space available, so in between the shell stitches a double crochet, chain 1, and then on top of the shell stitch you're going to be creating another shell stitch, so 2 double crochets, chaining 2 and 2 double crochets, chain 1 into the next space available, a double crochet, and then you're just going to be repeating the same pattern all the way around, and then I'll meet you guys at the end. And then for the very end you're going to be chaining 1 and then into the next space available a double crochet, chain 1 and connect to the other side with a slip stitch. And this is how it looks like with 2 rows completed, and this is the front with the flower. As you can see, it's very pretty, and this is the perfect sizing as well for cushion covers, bedwear, and you can actually just have it like this. I'm going to be showing you guys with the extra rows if you want to make it bigger. So the only row that is going to be different out of all of them is going to be the third one, as we are going to be adding some more shell stitches. So we are going to be moving the yarn into the next space available, so in between here the shell stitch with a slip stitch, and then you're going to be chaining 3 and then double crochet. So we are going to be repeating exactly the same as I showed you guys already, chain 2 and then 2 more double crochets. So here's where we are going to be doing something a little bit different. So here we have 2 spaces available in between the shell stitches, as you can see, and then the double crochet in the middle. So we are going to be creating 1 double crochet in here, so chain 1, and then 1 double crochet in the first space available, and then chain 1, and then another double crochet in the next space available. And then from here you're just going to be continuing the pattern. So we are going to be doing a shell stitch on top of the shell stitch, and then for the next step we are going to be chaining 1 and then 2 spaces again available. So we are going to be creating a double crochet, chain 1, another double crochet, chain 1, and then on top of the shell stitch another shell stitch. So this is what you guys will be repeating all the way around, and then I'll meet you guys at the end. So I'm here at the end, so I have my last shell stitch and then 2 spaces available. So chain 1 in the shell stitch, another shell stitch, chain 1, double crochet into the next space available, chain 1, another double crochet into the next space available, chain 1 and connect to the other side with a slip stitch. So if you want to keep this size, then you can just chain 1 and fasten off, but I want to show you guys how you make it more rows so you can make as big as you want. So what you're going to be doing is going into the next shell stitch available. There we go. And then you're going to be creating a shell stitch right here, and then you're going to be chaining 1 and then into the next space available. So right now we have here 1, 2, 3 spaces available. So into the first one and the last one we are going to be creating double crochets, and in the middle one we are going to be creating the shell stitch. So into the next space available you're going to be creating a double crochet, chain 1, and then into the next space available you're going to be creating a shell stitch. So you're going to be chaining 1, and then into the next space available, you're not going to be skipping that. You're going to be creating a double crochet, chaining 1, and then on top of the shell stitch, another shell stitch. So chain 1, into the next space available, a double crochet, chain 1, and then into the next one, a shell stitch. So 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. So chain 1, into the next space available, a double crochet. So chain 1, and then you can just continue the pattern all the way around, and then I'll meet you guys at the end. So I'm getting here at the end, so I'm just going to be following the same pattern. So before you connect, you're going to be chaining 1, and then now you're going to be connecting with a slip stitch. So now here I have 4 rows completed. I think for my taste and for what I like my crochet, this would be the maximum I would go, but I will show you guys how you create one more row, and then that row is basically what you're going to be doing for the rest of the rows if you want to do even bigger than this, okay? So now you're going to be moving your yarn into the next space available for the shell stitch. So mine is this one right here. And then on top of the shell, you're going to be creating a shell stitch, chaining 1. And then when you get to the double crochet right here, you're going to be creating a double crochet on top of the double crochet, chaining 1. And then in the shell, a shell on the top, chain 1, and then on top of the double crochet, another double crochet, and then chain 1, and then on top of the shell, another shell. And now you can just follow the same pattern all the way around, and then I'll meet you guys at the end. So I'm reaching the end now, so I'm just going to be creating my last double crochet on top of the double crochet, chain 1, and then connect to the other side with the slip stitch. So this is with the 5th row completed, and if you guys want bigger than this, then you can just keep on repeating the last row as many as you want. So when you have completed, you can just fasten off and weave in the yarns. So this is the final project. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and this is a very versatile project. You can create many other projects as well. You can create rugs, cushion covers, bedwear, clothing items. So you just need to be creative and create any projects that you want. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give a massive thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe so you can join the Cutiecalities family and watch more of my videos. And I'll see you guys soon on my next one. Bye bye guys!